All right, well, thank you very much for jumping on today. Today, we're going to be talking about taking control of your online reputation, making sure that things are put in the right places so that you can get more leads at the end of the day. Today, we're going to be talking all about the best tools why you need the best tools in the world for generating reviews. And in a lot of cases, even though you have some of those tools, it's still tough to get those 5-star reviews. How to tap into the power of multi-channel communication. So using various ways to help increase the amount of reviews that you have for your business. Why getting online reviews is a team sport, and you really need to kind of cook it into your culture in order to really thrive when it comes to the reviews. Why you need to acknowledge and respond to all the reviews, not just the good ones and not just the bad ones. And how you can, of course, have a lot of this taken care of for you. So this is all part of what we call our digital dominance method. It's just one piece of the pie here. As you can see, there are a lot of things related to dominating when it comes to online. A lot of different things. The first thing is a website. Your website is absolutely the hub of everything that you do when it comes to digital marketing. So having that correct is the first piece. Then you've got your ads, you've got Facebook, you've got social media, you've got, all these different things that you can do to really start to thrive when it comes to getting new leads from online sources. This is just one piece of that, and it's right here at the beginning around having a really good reputation. Reputation management is what we call it. A little bit about me. My name is Will Hankey. My company is called Window Treatment Marketing Pros. I did put out a book recently called Triple Your Window Treatment and Awning Leads. If you do not have a copy of that, I'll show you how to get a copy of that at the end of the presentation today. I am just short of my 25th year. I started my business in March of 1997. So next month, I'll be celebrating 25 years, which is pretty exciting. I am an active member of the WCAA and the IFAI. I'm also speaking at the upcoming Window Coverings Vision Expo in Fort Lauderdale. That is beginning of April. I have 4 sessions there. I've got a masterclass, SEO masterclass, and then 3 other additional sessions on paid ads, retargeting content, a lot of different things. So if you're going to be at that event, please stop by my booth and say hi. I'd love to meet you. All right. By the way, we are a veteran-owned and family-owned business. Like I said, just short of 25 years. This is my daughter, Amber. She's our lead web developer, and she works with me. But honestly, there are a lot of people on our staff that are doing a lot of different things. So we've got experts in all the different areas of the digital dominance method that I mentioned earlier. I want to make sure that you guys get some good resources, and I'll be giving those away at the end of our presentation today. And by the way, this is what we do. We're called Window Treatment Marketing Pros because that's all we do, window treatment and awning companies across the US. We are a Google partner. They actually just upgraded our status, which is pretty exciting. And just as a sidebar, if you've never done paid ads, go check out the webinar I just did last month on paid ads. And Google has given us some promo codes for $500 when you spend $500 on ads. So $500 in free ads when you spend $500, which is amazing. It used to be $100. Sometimes it was $150 they would give us. But right now they're giving us $500 promo codes. So it only works for new accounts. So if you've never done anything related to paid ads, reach out to us and we'll hook you up with that for sure. I do want to make this interactive. So if you do have questions along the way, feel free to unmute or to put those into the chat. I've got my little chat window open here. I'm going to monitor that and make sure if anybody has any questions. I want to make sure everything is clear. And if it isn't, please put a question in the chat, and I'll be happy to answer those in there before we move forward. So Thank you to the people that have just jumped on. We've got a good crowd going here today. So why should you worry about your online reputation? Here's a couple really cool stats. Online reviews can, quite honestly, make or break your company. The usage of especially the Google, it used to be called Google My Business. Now it's called Google Business Profile. We'll talk a little bit more about that today. But that platform that they've put together, which includes the reviews of every company, is really what is generating a lot of leads for our clients right now. And that ties back to having positive reviews as well. Now, it could be that the online reputation you currently have does not reflect the quality of service that you provide. Maybe you've kind of not really taken advantage of, getting it set up correctly, and the only reviews you got were the poor ones, which obviously isn't great because that's not going to help you with leads. So we talk a little bit about that. And there are a lot of tools, and maybe you've even tried some of these tools to, help drive some of those reviews. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But you can't just bolt on a tool and expect it to start working. You really have to have an entire campaign built around it. We'll talk a little bit more about that as well. The problem with not having anything set up or not really having it on your radar is you're missing huge opportunity. Like I said, in some cases, some of our clients are 60 to 70% of their leads are coming from the Google 3-pack, which is the Google My Business area, those 3 listings with the map, with the pins, and that is partially driven by positive reviews. So having that in place is a huge piece of this pie, and not having it in place can just cause you to not get those leads. So let's talk about the opportunity here. The real opportunity, obviously, is to be the provider of choice in your service area and stand out from the competition. The best way to do that is to just blow them out of the water with the amount of reviews that you have. Take the tools that are available and use them the way you should use them so that you're driving those reviews, that you're staying on Google's radar, and obviously generating more phone calls, more people filling out the form, more people asking directions if you have a actual workshop or something like that. And at the end of the day, have your reputation speak for itself. This is huge for any business, obviously. And once you've kind of got this built out and in place, it kind of takes care of itself, right? And it's kind of self-filling, right? It just, the more people that see your positive reviews and see your business as a positive thing, the more other potential people are going to see that as well. And it just keeps filling up your pipeline, which obviously is great, right? At the end of the day, you want to be the go-to window treatment or awning company in your area, rank at the top of the search engines for that, and then get those leads that are out there available right now, whether you're getting them or not. So do online reviews matter? I think it's pretty obvious. Yes, they do matter. 84% of people trust online reviews as much as a personal recommendation. 77% of consumers think that reviews that are more than 3 years old aren't relevant. And I've actually got some other stats around that as well. So, having five-star reviews from 2 years ago and not really doing anything since then is not going to help you as much as maybe you would hope it would. So having fresh reviews obviously is very important as well. So yes, online reviews are mission critical. It's definitely something that needs to be on your radar. So let's talk about a couple reasons why this is definitely the case. First of all, they impact your Google rankings, especially in that 3-pack of results. If you think about what Google wants to do, they want to provide the best user experience for somebody who's searching for something. That reflects back to your business, right? If your business is getting a bunch of 5-star reviews, Google would be more likely to rank you well and to refer people to you. The opposite is obviously true. If you start getting some poor reviews, Google's not going to want to send more people your way because it reflects back on the fact that Google gave them a poor user experience. So they do affect your Google rankings. 88% of consumers look at online reviews. My wife looks at reviews for everything. Of course, on Amazon, if you're thinking about buying something, you're looking at reviews. But even local things before we go engage with a business, we're always looking at the reviews there as well. And it seems to be the majority of people nowadays. It's also a major conversion factor. So the more reviews you have, the more likely people are to pick up the phone and call you. So there's some social proof, we call it, behind having those reviews as well. So why are reviews critical to your business? I think it's pretty obvious that they're going to, really at the end of the day, drive leads to your business. And obviously managing those and having something in place can really help your business grow. All right, any questions before I go on? I want to make sure everybody has all their questions answered. Of course, you can put those in the chat. I don't see anything now, but if you do have a question, go ahead and just put that in there and I'll be happy to answer those for you. So let's get started. Let's talk about the 5 key principles when it comes to getting reviews. And I'm going to go through all 5 of these and then dig in a little deeper on them. First of all, the obvious one is to provide a world-class customer experience. This particular one is, not related really to your online marketing. It's just providing very good service, right? All the other things that you can do to provide a great customer experience. Number 2, build online reviews or a reputation management system into your company culture. Some of our clients offer incentives for reviews from their sales team, from their installers, things like that. But start to bake it into your system where it's just part of the process. When an install is complete, you ask for a review. That's just part of what you do, those kind of things. Make sure to show off the reviews that you do have. There are some advantages here of showing people, the 5-star reviews that you do have and using those, what we call trust factors, to make sure that you are leveraging your website and other properties the best that you can. Number 4, as I mentioned before, leverage some of the tools that are available to kind of start to automate the process around asking for reviews. And this is where you start to get into the different channels and not just relying on just sending an email after the install or a couple of days later when you get back to the office. Hey, could you leave us a review? Having a more robust approach where you're asking them an email, you're texting them, you're sending them a letter. There's a lot of different ways to go about doing this. But coming at people from different angles, because not everybody replies to, not everybody responds to emails very well. Some people don't check their emails, right? So having a multi-pronged approach is really going to help you with getting those reviews, getting the most positive reviews. And then lastly, don't forget to acknowledge and respond to the reviews that you do get. This does help your business because if somebody's coming and they're comparing maybe a couple different companies that all have around the same number of reviews, the fact that they're reading reviews from your business and they are replied to and just say, thanks for doing business with us, is more likely to turn into a conversion for you. So which one of these can you kind of work on? Obviously, providing a world-class customer experience. There's always a lot of things you can do outside of the marketing world related to that. But the other ones are a little bit more solid. Building something into your system. Do any of these kind of pop out to you and say, what, we should probably be doing that? I'd love to hear your feedback. Put that in the chat. If any of these kind of pop out to you, yeah, what, we could probably be doing a better job of that. Or if you have any questions, obviously put those in there as well. All right, so let's talk about some tips for driving more reviews. In a lot of cases, businesses have gained reviews, by default, just by the fact that Google created a business profile for you. Maybe you've never even claimed your business profile. It's just because it's there. Every once in a while you get a review, and that's nice, right? You've got a couple reviews, they're 5 stars. That's good. That was the case with Naka's Drapery. This is one of our longtime clients on the island of Maui. So, just kind of stale. You try a couple times to ask for reviews, and the customers say, "Yeah, I'll give you a review," but they never do. Right? It seems like they promise that they're going to, but in most cases they don't. And you don't want to heckle them, right? You said you leave me a review. Are you going to leave me a review or not? You can't do that a lot, right? So I pulled together a couple different stats. Kind of interesting. The amount of times the different age groups need to be asked before leaving a review. Always found this interesting, and quite honestly, surprisingly, that the older crowd tends to leave review after the first time of being asked, nearly 75% of the time, which is just amazing. And then we've got the younger crowd who's maybe a little bit more leery, has to be asked a couple times. They could just be busy, a lot of things like that. So it's some interesting stats around how many times they need to be asked. And then the other really interesting thing that I saw here was related to usage of product. How many times or how many times do they use the product before they decide to leave you a review? What is the average length of time after receiving, after in our case, after install is complete before they decide to leave a review? So, and you'll see here in this first one, 5 to 7 days, a lot of people are still leaving reviews, after you've done an install. So even though maybe you asked them, maybe they said yes, if you're not asking them, reminding them in that 5 to 7 or even 8 to 14 day range, hey, just want to remind you to leave us a review about the new draperies, something like that, it's a missed opportunity for you. So kind of interesting, the different stats here. The other one was 48% of consumers only pay attention to reviews that are written in the past 2 weeks. So I mentioned earlier about the past, I remember what I said, 90 days, I think, or something like that, couple months, right? But even more relevant are the very, very recent reviews. People are looking at those for sure. So a couple ways that you can get reviews. This is probably one of the coolest ways. Have some sort of a card. A lot of our clients will just get some business cards printed because it's really cheap to get them. Put a QR code on the business card, give those to your installers. And when the install is complete, just have them, again, as part of their process, hand that over to a client. Say, hey, would you mind leaving us a review? You can just scan this QR code. With the pandemic and with restaurants having QR codes and stuff, most people understand how to use QR codes now. And they're also QR code reading is built straight into phones now. So that used to be kind of a hassle to get around, but this is a great way to get reviews. And the best time to do this is while you're standing in the living room or on the back deck looking at the awning. Hey, would you mind leaving us a review? It's a great time to do it. If you can't do that, you could use some sort of an automation system. This is our system called Lead Boomerang, which every one of our clients uses. And super simple. You just log in, you click the button that says send a review request. It asks you for the customer name. And what's really cool here is it asks for their email or their cell phone. So you can actually send them an email request, or you can actually text them, hey, Mr. Jones, hope you like your awning. Click here to leave us a review. Pops up on their phone. Super easy to do. Here's an example of some sort of a message that goes out to the client. Hope you're satisfied. One thing that we did notice here is that if you're not really specific about them leaving a 5-star review, they're more likely to leave you a 4-star review. And I don't know why, but it's just changing the verbiage. So what we do here is we say we hope that we meet a 5-star rating. If we don't, please let us know, and we'll fix whatever is causing you not to consider us 5 stars. Just by changing that verbiage in the requests, pretty much killed the 4-star reviews from happening, which was great. So it's kind of a nice little psychological way of getting more 5-star reviews. But just a little tip there. If you are at install and it's time for you to ask for a review, another thing you can do is, everybody's going to have their phone. Just ask the client, hey, what kind of phone is that? Is that a Android or an iPhone? And people just love talking about their phones, right? Oh, this is the iPhone 10 or whatever. I just love this thing. Oh, would you mind real quick if I send you a text, would you mind leaving us a review? You can do it right there on your phone. So nice, easy way to get a conversation started. Of course, if you have the business card with the QR code, you can get right into that conversation. So there's some really easy ways to kind of start that process. And again, the best time to do it is while you're there in the home or in the commercial setting when you're finished with the project. And then I mentioned earlier, show off a little bit. If you do have some great reviews, get them on your website. These are fantastic trust factors that lead people to understand, oh, this really is a good business. I see that they are getting positive reviews. You can see that Naka's got one just a day or two ago, and then again, less than a week ago. So these kind of things are great. And you see they're not terribly often, in this case, one every 6 days, but that keeps it fresh and it keeps the process moving forward. Have that on your site for sure. Another way to do it is to create a review us page on your website. The only trick with this is you don't really want to link this from anywhere on your site, right? So you don't want this in your navigation or anything like that, where random people can come to your website, find this page, and just click the 1 star. For some reason, people are like that from time to time. So we don't want to necessarily give them the ability to do that easily. This is a page that would be hidden on your site. And then, after you do an install and you shoot an email to somebody to come to this page, fill out the form. That's a better way to kind of use this particular thing. But they just click it, fill out, 5 stars. And then it asks them, okay, could you leave a review on Google with this? Or could you leave a review on Yelp or Facebook or wherever about our business? Some of our customers change their review us page and put multiple options. I like this idea because not everybody has a Google account. And in fact, this page came into existence because people were replying to this client saying, I don't have a Google, I don't use Google. And basically they would have been willing to leave us a review, but since we were only sending them to Google, they didn't leave a review. So building a page like this gives people options. I don't have Google, but I use Facebook, to see the kids all the time. So they would just feel more comfortable putting a review on that network. The other nice thing about having something like this is the reviews look more natural across the web. So not every single review about your business is just going to your Google profile. Every once in a while, one shows up on Facebook or Yahoo or these different sites, and just looks more natural to the search engines. So another great way to kind of ask for reviews or get reviews and make people more comfortable with leaving those reviews. Obviously, put it in the signature area of your email is a great way to do it. Again, the only trouble with this is if you're emailing somebody who is maybe not happy or not even currently a customer, you are kind of leaving that open a little bit for them to leave a 1-star review. Most people aren't going to do that, obviously, but every once in a while somebody might. So you don't want to make it easier for those 1-star type people. Uh, Alan Rose are asking, we noticed that you did not mention Yelp. How do you feel about them? So on this page, we actually had Yelp on here up until probably 4 or 5 months ago. And I'm not anti-Yelp. I will say that Yelp has been kicked out of Google 2 times for kind of shady practices. What they'll do is if you get a 1-star review, they'll start blowing up your phone and basically, kind of saying, hey, we see you have a 1-star review. We'd love to make that go away. If you're able to advertise with us, it's a little shady. And Google's, they didn't want anything to do with it. So they've taken them out. The other thing is once they get your phone number, they're relentless. I mean, they are really relentless. So I do think for getting reviews, it's probably still good to get them. Google and Facebook have more weight when it comes to reviews. So a lot of times we'll push our clients to ask their customers to leave them on those systems. So yeah, not Yelp is not a bad thing. It's just, I don't know. It's not a great thing either, I guess. So thank you for the question. Let's see here. So here's what happens. This was 2020 when they had 11 reviews. Naka's implemented this. And as of today, it's showing 38 Google reviews. Now, if you noticed earlier on their website, it actually says 42 or 45 reviews or something like that. So these are only the Google reviews, but you'll see that there are some ancillary Facebook, Yelp, Yahoo Local, Houzz. Those reviews are still counted. Google still pays attention to those, but on the business profile for your business, they tend to only show the Google reviews in that listing. So very interesting that when you're able to start putting in some sort of a process or a campaign to get those reviews, it can definitely work. And I think I mentioned earlier, a lot of our clients are seeing 60 to 70% of their leads coming from this Google business profile and being in that what we call a 3-pack of results. So here's what's very important. Respond to the reviews that you get. And these can be really easy responses. They don't need to be something crazy. And then make sure that you do have some sort of strategy when you get a 1-star review. Everybody's going to get one, and just getting one doesn't mean the end of the world. Google knows that everybody's going to have that customer that you just couldn't make happy, and it's probably actually a positive signal to get a 1 or 2-star review every great once in a while. It makes it more human, I guess, to Google. So, obviously we don't want them, but if you get them, it's not the end of the world. But have a strategy in place that if you do get one, that you are able to respond in a non-emotional way. A lot of times people say, write the review, but don't hit the submit button. Give it 24 hours, think about it, and then go back and rewrite the review, or the response, to that 1-star review. Because here's the other thing that can happen is maybe you didn't realize that they had a bad experience, and it's something you could fix. You can, of course, leverage that and say, hey, I'm going to come back and fix that, and by the way, I'd love it if you would, give us a 4-star or 5-star review instead. We just want to make you happy and kind of turn it into a really good customer service experience that way. So, but definitely make sure that you have a process in place to respond to each of those. And in Google, it's super easy. There's a reply button. You just click the reply button and leave some sort of response. Try to leave a different response each time, so it's not always the same. Thanks for doing business with us. That's it. But make it a little bit more personal if you can. The other really cool thing that you can do is make sure that you're putting keywords in to your response. We hope your new awning enhances the look of your home. We hope you love the red cornices that we put up in your living room. If you can be a little specific about what the person got, obviously you got to be a little careful about privacy, but I don't think anybody will care if they have red cornices. But anyway, have something in there that adds a little more content for Google to know what your business is about. Doesn't hurt. So the 5 keys, as I mentioned, obviously provide a great customer experience right off the bat. That's going to get you more 5-star reviews. Build something into your culture so that it's just part of what you do. And keep in mind, I know I said this already, keep in mind that the closer to install complete that you can ask for the review, the more likely you are to get a positive review, or that they're going to remember to actually do so. Show those reviews off on your website. That's pretty easy. Like for our customers, there's a widget inside Lead Boomerang that's super easy to use. Use those tools like Lead Boomerang to ask for reviews in multiple ways. One thing I didn't mention on here is we also have the ability to do voicemail drops. So you can actually just pre-record some sort of a voicemail. Hey, it's John from ABC Blinds. Saw that your install was complete. Wanted to make sure you were happy. If you are, please visit us online to leave us a review, something like that. And then you can actually just drop that on their cell phone as a voicemail. So that's a pretty cool little way to do it too. And then when you do get those reviews, make sure, make sure that you respond to each one of those as well. Obviously, this is a lot of work. This is a lot of different pieces and just one piece of what we call the digital dominance method. And it's just one piece of your overall customer's journey. This particular process, getting reviews, affects your business really in 2 ways. Obviously, at the end, when everybody's happy and you're asking for those reviews and getting those reviews, but those positive reviews influence new people being, considering your business, considering to do business with you at the beginning. So it's a little double-sided there, I guess you could say. I mentioned that this is just one piece of the digital dominance method. There are a lot of pieces, but this is one of the first things that you need to kind of get in place. Get your website, make sure that it's optimized for Google's, so that it's sending the right keywords. Get some sort of a content schedule going, have your reputation management in place so that you can start to optimize your business profile, things of that sort. And then you can start worrying about other things like paid ads and social media and video and newsletters and all these other things that you can do down the line. So this is what we do. As I mentioned, we're Google partners. We've been doing this for quite a while now, and all we do is window treatments and awnings across the U.S. We have clients all across the U.S. currently, and if you're interested in learning more about what we do, I'd love to jump on a call and just kind of chat through what your goals are, what you're trying to achieve, and how you're going to get there, what that gap is between what you're doing now and where you want to be maybe by the end of this year, and see if there's a way that we can help you cross that gap. You can call me 314-470-1180. You can go on our website and schedule a time that works great for you. There's a calendar there. So are there any other questions? Do you have any other questions about anything that I covered that I maybe didn't go into specifics about? If there are, plug those into the chat. I'd love to answer your questions, and then we'll get to some of the freebies that I have available as well. All right, let me check over here. All right, I don't see any questions coming in. If you're still typing, go ahead and type. I will make sure to get those answered for you. Let's go ahead and knock out the freebies. Now, first of all, I did mention earlier my book. If you don't have a copy of my book, I can get one in the mail to you. Probably tomorrow at this point. I think the mail may have already ran today, but I can drop one in the mail. Be happy to do that for you. WTmarketingpros.com/book. Give me your address and I'll drop it in the mail, 2-day priority. and you'll have it maybe by the weekend. So do that. No charge to you at all. I just appreciate you jumping on today. If you are kind of wanting to get into this and looking for different keywords that make the most sense for your business, we've put together a list of the top keywords along with how often they're searched. And there's no, you don't have to register for anything or put in email address or anything. Just go to the website, wtmarketingpros.com/keywords, and you'll be able to download those right from the page. So some good information there around how are we going to get started? What should we be targeting? That kind of stuff. And then lastly, if you do want a free SEO report, you can get that now online. Just plug the information in about your business, and we will generate a really cool report that has a lot of really good information about your website, about your current reputation online, where you're at, what things you need to be looking at. And that is at wtmarketingpros.com/report. Absolutely free as well. All right. Thank you. I do appreciate you jumping on today. If you have any questions, put those in the chat. If you want to chat, if you want to call, there's my phone number, or you can obviously fill out the form on the strategy page as well. I do appreciate you jumping on today. I appreciate your time, taking the time. Hopefully you were able to learn something, get some value out of this. And I do appreciate everyone that jumped on. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Thanks, everyone. See ya.